the arrival of Season 3, there are a couple of packs inside of the game in which you might need help in terms of picking the best player available. The first pack we're going to discuss are the 2 unsellable packs that you receive inside of the XP reward pack for the National League. Now keep in mind that in total you will get 4 of these packs and 2 of them will be sellable. That is going to be later on inside of the reward pack. I would highly suggest selling those 2 as soon as possible because they will sell close to quick sell value as the season is ending. Plus you don't need those 2 sellable to eventually be able to complete at least 150 out of 300 set 3 collection cards. My first unsellable selection is going to be Josh Hader. Why? This is a set 3 Josh Hader. Set 1 Josh Hader is no longer usable inside of ranked. So he's bringing to you 125 hit per 9. He's also bringing to you 125 pitching clutch, and he has a 2-seam slider circle change. So only 1 fastball, 2 off-speed pitches. We are fine with that, especially because he has outlier on that fastball. The only thing that Josh Hader will struggle with is his control, as if you're using pinpoint, pure analog, whatever the case may be, because he has such a low walk per 9, he is going to struggle a bit when it comes to locating pitches. But with that delivery that he has, it's going to be difficult for hitters to pick up on, and we don't have a lot of great left-handed pitchers that are for set 3. Number 2 for me was Justin Steele. If you enjoyed playing with Madison Bumgarner, then Justin Steele is going to be a version of Madison Bumgarner inside of this program. He throws a 4-seam slider, sinker, sweeping curve, and a circle change as well. So he has at least 2 out of the 3 fastballs we want in a pitcher, and he also has a good arsenal when it comes to off-speed pitches. He has 101 hit per 9, 102 pitching clutch. Those are both doable, and with a 105 walk per 9, he is going to have very good control of the strike zone. At number 3, I have Devin Williams. He can go up to number 2, but with the amount of free right-handed relievers that we have gotten in this game, I don't see him being that much of a necessity where I would make him one of the 2 unsellable cards. We have gotten Canley, we have gotten Craig Kimbrell, we have gotten some set collections previously like Rich Gossage, and so on and so forth. If you did pitch well with that set 1 Devin Williams although, then I highly suggest you go ahead and pick this guy up as your second unsellable instead of Justin Steele. He has 125 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch. He throws a screwball 4-seam cutter. The difference is he doesn't have great velocity, and then his walk per 9 at an 82 is not necessarily ideal either. It's very similar to Josh Hader in terms of he will miss pitches, and he might be hurt a little bit more than Josh Hader due to not having as great velocity. Number 4 is Elias Diaz. Now yes, he does have that 99 overall inside of the All-Star pack, but there is a better option for you to select if you do get that rare round inside of the All-Star pack. This Elias Diaz is just as good as his All-Star pack one. Look at the clutch, it's already maxed out. Versus lefties, he's at an 82, so that's not too great. But the 99 arm strength, when it comes to catchers, that is what you prioritize, because whenever there is a runner going to second base, 99 arm strength is going to gun out a majority of them. If you look at the quirks that he brings to the table, it's only fighters, so he's only going to be a better above his attributes card whenever you are in the 9th inning or later. Orlando Arcia is going to be number 5 for me. He has 101 clutch, which is very good, and then versus lefties, he has 122 contact versus left and 125 power versus left. This card, as opposed to all other players that we have, is very good because of its versatility. He can play the entire infield and he can play the corner outfields as well. He doesn't have great speed although, but in the corner outfields or any secondary position, he is still going to play you at diamond tier fielding animations and reaction animations as well. And with 122, 125 power versus left, contact versus left, he is going to be a great hitter for you to bring in off the bench to pinch hit versus a lefty, and I would prioritize on bringing him in whenever there are no runners on base rather than runners on base, even though the difference might not seem that big. 101 clutch as opposed to 122 contact versus left is an enormous difference. Number 6 might disappoint a couple of you, but you have to understand my point of view here. It's Nolan Arenado. He's a third base / first baseman, and then last last but not least, DH. He does have good numbers versus left-handers in terms of power and good numbers versus right-handers in terms of contact, but that 94 clutch just basically kills this card in my opinion. Now keep in mind that at third and first base he will have diamond fielding and reaction animations, and he does have the best quirks as well out of all the hitters here. But there are a ton of infielders that you will find that can play third or first base, or even designated hitters that will give you a better bang for your buck at the same overall as Nolan Arenado, which is a 97 overall, and then we have a ton of free 99 overalls that we can obtain that are going to be even better than him. Josiah Gray is going to be the last one inside of this pack. He has a 100 hit per 9, a 125 pitching clutch, so maxed out pitching clutch is good. 88 walk per 9 is decent as well, very similar to Devin Williams, but he has only 87 velocity, and if you look at his arsenal, he throws the 4-seam and the cutter and a 2-seam. So those are 3 fastballs, 2 out of the 3 that we would want. If he threw a sinker instead of a 2-seam, this card would be 10 times better, and it would probably replace Justin Steele. But because he throws a 2-seam instead of a sinker, he really is only a 4-pitch pitcher, and slider, 4-seam, cutter, knuckle, curve, and then adding to that only having 87 velocity, the card is going to be no good. The American League All-Star Pack follows the same rubric as the National League All-Star Pack. My first no-sell selection inside of this pack was Yordan Alvarez. Why? He has 125 clutch. Yordan Alvarez most likely is not going to be playing the outfield for you, so DH or pinch hitter. And with that amount of power versus right and clutch, that means that when there are runners on base, especially with the swing he has in this game, he is going to be one of those guys that you bring off the bench in order to try and take the lead or cut the deficit. In addition to that, he has a ton of quirks that are going to allow him to play above his attributes. Believe it or not, Josh Young is actually the second best option inside of this pack. Without runners in scoring position, he has better numbers than with runners on scoring position in terms of contact. And he has almost maxed out power versus left. When you get him to parallel 5, it will be maxed out. At third base, he has good gold fielding, he has good gold reaction, and then he can play DH as well. In terms of quirks, it's unfortunate that rookies don't get any quirks. I would have loved it if halfway through the season they went ahead and started updating some cards and giving them quirks, because this card could be way better than what it currently is if it had quirks. Number 3 is going to be Mike Trout. Mike Trout has 97 clutch, which is not too bad. He has 87 fielding, which is gold fielding animations, and then 78 reaction, which is silver reaction animations out there in center field. Not ideal for a center fielder at all, but what I do love is the 99 speed. It's going to be able to make up for a lot of the missed jumps he gets based on his reaction, and then he has amazing quirks as well. But if you love Mike Trout so much that you still want to play with him inside of your set 3 squad, then you might as well go buy the 99 overall Mike Trout. That is a set 1 card that is probably selling for dirt cheap right now, and just set him as your wild card, as that card is beyond better than this one. Number 4 is going to be Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker has a bit of versatility. He's a corner outfielder essentially, but can also play first base for you. He has 97 clutch, which is close to Mike Trout, and then he has no quirks whatsoever. At 5, we got Michael Lorenzen. He has a good arsenal, has the fastball and the sinker, and then he has a good amount of off-speed pitches. 109 walk per 9 is good as well, but he has 92 hit per 9 and 85 pitching clutch. That's not going to do too well even on all-star difficulty. 96 velocity is a little bit more doable, and I do like his arsenal, but he just doesn't have what it takes to even be your 5th best starting pitcher with current set 3 rewards. Number 6 is going to be Garrett Cole. 95 hit per 9, 112 pitching clutch, and then a 94 walk per 9. All numbers are good. He throws a 4-seam and a cutter, so he has 2 of those fastballs that we want as well. The reason that he's lower than Michael Lorenzen is because I believe that the walk per 9 on Michael Lorenzen is going to allow you to place pitches a whole lot better. Plus, he has the 4th best control on his sinker opposed to Garrett Cole, which is on his cutter, so he'll be able to effectively use those two fastballs a bit better than Garrett Cole, and I'm pretty sure everyone says that Garrett Cole is super easy to read in this game. Number 7 is going to be Kenley Jansen. Now yes, this is set 3 Kenley Jansen, so in set 4 you'll still be able to use him, but this is a Kenley Jansen that has 2 fastballs and 1 off-speed pitch. The 102 hit per 9, 118 pitching clutch, and 101 walk per 9 are all good numbers, but I'd rather use set 2 99 overall tops now Kenley Jansen, and then once set 4 comes around, look at the right-handed relievers that they have inside of those packs to replace that set 2 99 overall Kenley Jansen with. Before entering into the boss pack, please make sure to hit that like button or subscribe button, notification bell, and check out the description for the Twitch where we stream every single day except for Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, as well as our Twitter where we have updates and much more. All links are inside the description. The boss pack, you will be able to obtain 3 out of the 5. If you're able to get them right now, I would sell them rather than keep them unless you are going to instantly play with them inside of ranked, because as the season progresses, they get sold for dirt cheap as well, so you still have a chance to make some profit and then buy back later on in order to go ahead and use these cards. You're going to be able to earn 3 out of the 5, none of which are unsellable. Inside of the boss pack, we have 1A, 1B. So Jock Peterson is probably the best option when it comes to any of these 5. Why? He can play first base as well. He has one of the best swings in this game, and he's a center fielder that has gold fielding animations and gold reaction animations. With 62 speed, it is not that bad, and he also has 125 clutch, so against either side he's gonna have maxed out contact with runners in scoring position and maxed out power. What else could you ask for in addition to some quirks as well? The reason there's a 1B although is because this Mike Cameron card is really good and is able to help you out with Jock Peterson's weaknesses. Now he has 118 clutch and he has over 100 power, which are both perfectly fine. In terms of fielding and reaction animations, both of them are diamond no matter where you put them out there inside the outfield. And opposed to the 62 speed Jock Peterson has, he has 90 speed, so he's going to be able to cover a lot more ground than Jock Peterson in general. Now, what's unfortunate about Mike Cameron, and the reason why he's 1B, or number 2 if you would like to say instead, is that he doesn't have quirks that allow him to play above his attributes. But if you need a right-hander inside your lineup, especially in the outfield, as opposed to a left-hander, then you go with Mike Cameron first instead of Jock Peterson. Number 3 is going to be Buck O'Neil, and Buck O'Neil might be surprising to a lot of you, but look at the contact numbers, look at the clutch. It's almost max regardless of whether there are runners in scoring position or not, and he has good power numbers as well. He plays first base and has 99 fielding and reaction, but if you take him to left field or right field, he still has those diamond fielding and reaction animations, as it will drop down to a 95. With 85 speed, he is more than good enough to play any of those corner outfield positions if you need him to. The only downside to him is he has no quirks. Marcus Semien is going to come in at number 4. He has good contact numbers and then maxed out clutch. He can play third base and shortstop, and at those secondary because he has 99 fielding and 94 reaction, they are still going to be diamond fielding and reaction animations. 80 speed is also very good for any middle infielder and corner infielder. He also has a couple of quirks to add to him, but with the amount of infielders that we have gotten that are 99 overalls, whether you're looking inside the Battle Royale program or you're looking inside Team Affinity 3 collections or even the set collections, I don't think Marcus Semien is necessarily going to be able to play any of those 3 positions above those other guys. Zach Gallen is going to be number 5, 101 hit per 9, 115 walk per 9, 119 pitching clutch. All of those numbers are exceptional. He throws a 4-seam, knuckle curve, cutter, circle change, and sinker, so he has the 3 fastballs that we want. But the problem with Zach Gallen is he throws a knuckle curve and a circle change. Now the cutter 100% can serve as horizontal off-speed pitch movement, considering he throws it at 89, but having a knuckle curve and a circle change as your 2 off-speed pitch movements are really bad, because they're both vertical off-speed pitch movements, and a hitter knows just sit back and it's gonna drop and you're gonna be able to carry it. Let's talk about this final pack inside of the All-Star Week program, where it guarantees you one of 3 packs rare round. You have the Draft Day pack, All-Star Game pack, and Home Run Derby pack. Now there is no consensus number 1 option here. I will be the first one to tell you that. It all depends on what your team needs and how you plan on on filling out the remainder of your team while you complete set 3 collections and team affinity collections as well, because you need to keep in mind that in set 3 collections there is a Ronald Acuna Jr. In team affinity collections there is a Corbin Carroll that you are also able to obtain, as well as a Jose Ramirez that can play the outfield for you, with Matt Olson as well if you wanted to take him there. So I believe that the overall best selection that you can have is this 99 overall Yandy Diaz. He plays second base, he plays third base, he plays left field, and he plays first base. Now you most likely will never use him out in left field, so we can say that he is going to be an infielder with the exception of short. He has 117 clutch, which is great with runners in scoring position, and then he's even better whenever there are no runners in scoring position, and he has good enough power to go ahead and hit home runs against both sides. 76 fielding, 77 reaction is going to be good enough for any of those infield positions, considering there are going to be silver fielding animations and silver reaction animations. He also has 60 speed, but what makes him better than all of the other picks is that he is the player that has the most amount of quirks. If what your team really needs is a starting pitcher, although whether it's a number 4, 5, or 3, then Paul is going to be a great option for that. 111 hit per 9, 98 walk per 9, and he also has 113 pitching clutch. He has outlier on that fastball, and he throws a fastball and a cutter, so that is going to be essentially 2 out of the 3 fastballs, and he has a slider and a circle change, and the slider and slurve is a good combination as well, considering he throws them at different pitch speeds. Similar dilemma to the Boss Choice Pack. If what you are looking for is an outfielder, center fielder, you can either go with Dylan Cruz, which is going to be the right-handed hitter, and he's going to have great clutch, great contact. His fielding is going to be gold in terms of fielding animations and reaction animations until you get him to like parallel 4, and then they will both be diamond, and he has 92 speed, which is going to be great speed. But if instead you're looking for a left-handed center fielder, then Max Clark is going to be the better option out of the two, because he has similar clutch numbers, similar contact numbers, and then he is going to be the better defensive center fielder out of the two. The rank rewards, we're going to do rapid fire, because you are going to be able to obtain one unsellable throughout the rank program, and then the second one that is sellable is going to be obtained through you either grinding co-op rating or solo rating. Inside of the 500, we have the Pennant Race Pack that features Matt Holliday and Mason Wynn. With the unsellable one, I would take Matt Holliday just because he has good contact versus left and power versus left and better quirks as well. You want to pick the better hitter out of the two, considering these guys are more than likely never entering your lineup unless you are playing events, and clearly Mason Wynn is the better defender out of the two, especially being a shortstop. Not having any quirks does not make me prioritize. The wildcard pack, we have Will Myers and Joe Nathan. Pick Joe Nathan with your unsellable choice because he has 118 hit per 9, 102 walk per 9, 125 pitching clutch, and he has a really good arsenal. He has a 5-pitch arsenal as a closing pitcher, a much better option than that 97 overall Devin Williams. The only thing is he doesn't have outlier, but neither does Devin Williams. With that arsenal and those attributes, he should be good to go on anybody's bullpen if you need one more right-handed pitcher. And then Will Myers, he has 91 pitching clutch. He's essentially a power hitter, considering this is a home run derby card, and even at first base he is a horrible defender, having 63 fielding and 61 reaction. So if you were to take him to third base or any of the outfield positions, he drops to common fielding animations and common reaction animations, which you wouldn't want. Inside the Championship Series pack, our first option with the unsellable pack is going to be Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins has amazing clutch at 119, and then without runners in scoring position, he still has good enough contact. He has 72 fielding, 78 reaction, that's silver fielding and silver reaction animations, and if you take him to first base at parallel 2, he'll have silver fielding and reaction animations there as well. In terms of quirks, he doesn't have anything that substantially is going to make him a better player, but when it comes to his swing, it's definitely going to play above his attributes. So I would go with him instead of Kevin Gausman, because Kevin Gausman has a 4-pitch arsenal, 91 hit per 9, 96 walk per 9, 95 pitching clutch, and then in terms of quirks, he only really has break outlier, not having great velocity as a starting pitcher, and only one fastball is not beneficial. Finally, we get ourselves the World Series pack, and this pack really has two #1 options. My #1 option is more than likely going to be Juan Soto with the unsellable pack. Why? Because they gave Juan Soto a good defensive outfielder card. One, he is going to be one of the best hitters in the game, 125 clutch, versus righties without runners in scoring position, it's already at max, and he has great power versus them as well. Versus lefties with runners in scoring position, that's when you're going to want to have him out there, but he still has great contact and power even if they're not in scoring position. 81 fielding, 84 reaction for Juan Soto in left field are both gold fielding and reaction animations, and with 56 speed, that's going to help you out a ton. Worst comes to worst, you put him at DH. I mean, look at the quirks. He's going to be playing above his attributes, and everybody knows how good of a swing this Juan Soto has. Satchel Paige becomes your #1 unsellable option if you value defense and speed in the outfield more than anything else, and you more than likely will have Corbin Carroll in left field rather than Juan Soto, and you already have Shohei Ohtani 99 overall monthly awards or another card that you really enjoy hitting with as your designated hitter. This Satchel Paige is going to have his shorter delivery. 112 hit per 9, 97 walk per 9, and 116 pitching clutch are all amazing numbers. He throws that fastball, he throws that sinker, and he throws a screwball as well, which is a deadly pitch, and he has outlier 1 on the fastball, so this is going to be a great starting pitcher card. But I know everybody has just been using John Donaldson as soon as they start getting rocked, since he has infinite stamina. The third option is going to be Sean Murphy. The reason why he's the third option is because you have Adley Rutschman in the set 3 collections, and you would rather have a switch hitting catcher that rivals this card in terms of defensive attributes and hitting attributes rather than someone that can only hit right-handed. He doesn't have as many quirks either as Adley Rutschman, so Adley Rutschman is who we're going to go with instead of Sean Murphy. You obtain this Battle Royale Flawless reward at 100 Battle Royale program points, but I'm not going to lie to you all, this is not a necessity. So if you don't enjoy playing Battle Royale, then you don't have to go out of your way in order to grind it and get one of these 3 cards, because these 3 cards are not as good, or they are just as good as some of the cards you are going to be able to obtain either from completing Team Infinity 3 collections or from getting your way up to 150 if not 300 set 3 collection rewards. My #1 option inside of the Flawless pack, although, is going to be Hank Thompson. He is a right field primary player that has secondary positions at the entire infield except for first base, and then he can play your entire outfield. He has 96 fielding, 89 reaction, so at right field at parallel 1 he is going to have both diamond fielding animations and diamond reaction animations. At his secondary positions, he will always have diamond fielding animations, but if you want to get to diamond reaction animations instead of gold, you would have to parallel him up to parallel 4. Him having 91 speed is going to allow him to play at any of those secondary positions as well without a problem. He has 117 clutch, and then he has 100 power versus right, 91 power versus left, and versus either side with no runners on base, he has over 100 contact. This card is the most versatile utility man that we can find inside of this pack, plus he's a left-handed bat. So if you need more left-handed bats and you need someone that you can just slot in anywhere, whether it's coming off the bench or right now inside of your starting lineup, this is going to be one of the best options available. At #2, we have Bo Bichette. He has max contact regardless of whether there are runners in scoring position. He has 90 fielding and 89 reaction at shortstop. Once you get him to parallel 1, that is going to be diamond fielding and reaction animations at shortstop. 67 speed is doable at short without a problem as well. The only downside to this Bo Bichette, and the reason he's #2, is he has no secondary positions whatsoever. So if you're someone that doesn't like his swing and want to give him a try regardless, if you already have a really good shortstop, then he just has no room on your team unless you're going to put him at designated hitter. Now you still might get away with him playing second base or third base, but you'll probably get some funky animations every now and then that you'd rather not get, especially if you're playing ranked. What makes him good, although, is the fact he also has quirks that are usable and allow him to play above his attributes, but someone like Jackie Robinson that you get for collecting cards that are set 3 is just as good as this Bo Bichette and more versatile than this Bo Bichette as well. The third option, which could be your #1 option if you need pitching, is going to be Rube Foster. He has 104 hit per 9, 102 walk per 9, 102 pitching clutch. All numbers are great. He throws a screwball, 4-seam slurve, sinker, and a forkball. So all of those pitches are also great. And the most interesting thing is that he has outlier on the screwball. Now, outlier on the screwball will probably be one of the most difficult things to time, because outlier on an off-speed pitch, you don't hear of things like that, and a screwball moves a lot like a curveball, so how exactly are you supposed to time this pitch? Regardless of that, he also plays first base as his secondary position, but his hitting stats are not as great. Considering he's a two-way player, I'm pretty sure that he probably has the infinite stamina glitch, just like John Donaldson, where you can bring him from the bullpen and he will just be able to pitch you 20 innings without ever losing any stamina whatsoever. So if you really enjoy using John Donaldson, then you probably won't get Rube Foster, since John Donaldson already has that infinite stamina glitch. But if you really need a starting pitcher, then you would go with Rube Foster instead of the other two. The finale, of course, is going to be the Set 3 Collection Choice Pack. But before we dive into that, let me give you guys some advice. In terms of Head Start rewards, which if you complete 3 out of the 5, you get a Head Start of 30,000 XP towards the Set 4 XP reward path. All you need to do is collect 150 of these cards, and you can get to 150 with no sell cards without a problem, meaning cards that you were forced to lock into your inventory regardless. Now what I would do is I would get to 150 and then I wouldn't collect anymore. I would just go ahead and keep obtaining the players, but I wouldn't lock them into the collection. Why? Because in Set 2 I did the exact same thing, because I knew all I needed was 1 for the Head Start reward. So when Set 3 started, I had myself the 195 5k bonus XP, the 230 10k bonus XP, and the 265 5k bonus XP. So in total that was 20 plus 30k from the Head Start reward. That's gonna be 50k Head Start in terms of XP towards the reward path, which will allow you to unlock cards a whole lot faster and be able to sell them for profit a whole lot faster. The number 1 option inside of the Set 3 Collection Boss Choice Pack is going to be controversial, but listen to me carefully. There is no better catcher inside this game than Adley Rutschman, and there is going to be no catcher except for your ball player that is going to be able to rival Adley Rutschman, because there are none that are switch hitters beside your ball player. This switch hitting catcher has maxed out clutch versus lefties, regardless of whether there are runners on scoring position or in the scoring position, is maxed out clutch, and versus righties is 116. In terms of defensive attributes as a catcher, you really only care about arm strength, but you also give a little bit of a damn about blocking as well, as if you throw a lot of pitches in the dirt, the higher the block and the higher of a chance he keeps it in front of him. So 99 arm strength and 90 blocking are both amazing for a catcher. And then on top of that, he's going to have 63 speed as well. This could be one of the fastest catchers in this game, probably one of the fastest 99 overalls, or the fastest 99 overall. I'm not sure how fast Joe Mauer is. But on top of that, he also has good quirks that are going to allow him to play above his attributes. Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to be the second best option. Now, if you prefer to have Elias Diaz, Sean Murphy, or some other random catcher like your ball player at catcher other than Adley Rutschman, then of course go with Ronald Acuna Jr. But the thing is that there are going to be inside of this Set 3 a ton of more 99 overall outfielders that are going to drop that can rival the performance that Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to give you. Now, Ronald Acuna Jr., yes, he has maxed out clutch, regardless of whether there are runners in scoring position or not, max contact. He has at right field gold fielding and reaction animations. Regardless of whether you're playing him in left, center, or right, he is always going to have gold reaction animations. But once you get him to parallel 2, he's going to have diamond fielding animations at right field. Once you get him to parallel 4, he's going to have diamond fielding animations. Well, actually, no, he will never have diamond fielding animations at his secondary positions. The 90 speed makes up for the gold reaction, although, because that's going to allow him to be able to recover whenever he does have bad jumps, and he also has some good quirks as well to him. But like I said, I personally believe that there are going to be a ton of outfielders that can rival, if not do just as good or better than Ronald Acuna Jr. For example, if you were able to get 2 out of the 3 Set 2 Collection Choice Packs, you most likely selected Hammer and Hank as one of the 3 options. And Hammer and Hank is going to rival Ronald Acuna Jr. The only thing that Ronald Acuna Jr. might have on Hammer and Hank is he has a way better swing inside this game. Number 3 is Martin Dihigo. Now, I'll be honest with you all. If you guys wanted to pick him as your first option, option, I would have no problem with that as well, because the guy is a starting pitcher that can play the entire 9 positions. Like, that is unheard of. 101 hit per 9, 109 pitching clutch, 104 walk per 9. He throws a 4-seam curveball, sinker, slurve, and a screwball. And if you look at his quirks, he has outlier on the fastball. We look at his hitting attributes: 108 clutch, and then 108, 115 power versus right and left, 88 contact, 90 contact. That is going to be the only true downside to him when it comes to him being a hitter. And considering he is a two-way player, he probably does have that infinite stamina glitch. So if you wanted to take advantage of that, then of course this would be a great option. But I have him at number 3 because I think the other 2 would be players that you prefer playing with rather than him. And also the fact that they have quirks as opposed to him also make them a little bit better, especially when it comes to hitting. But if you really need starting pitching, then I would go with Martin 100%. Like I said previously, I wish they went ahead and added quirks to these players. But let me tell you something. These rewards in set 3 have been amazing. This is the best set that MLB The Show has thrown out at us, because whether you are no money spent or money spent, there are a ton of great options inside collections, and as well as a lot of great options inside of other programs, considering this has been the best program that we've ever gotten inside MLB The Show, which guarantees a 99 overall. And if you look at the set 3 collection bosses, this has been one of the first times where you can pick any of the 3 and not feel bad about it, because all 3 are going to be arguably one of the best cards inside of the game. If you did end up enjoying today's content, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Check out the description, as we have plenty of links, including our Twitch, where we stream every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern except for Tuesdays, as well as our Twitter, where we go ahead and give you guys updates, and many other links. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.